I don't want to alarm anyone, but I'm pretty sure water is alive. Like, I think it's a living organism. Those studies where they have plants, I don't know if you've seen these things, and they'll keep some in a nice room and they'll play classical music to it and they talk nice to it, and then they'll take other plants and they'll play like a really loud heavy metal and stuff and they'll yell at them, and then after a couple weeks the plants they're being nice to are flourishing and they're green and they look good, and the ones that they've been yelling at and playing the heavy metal music to are dying and they're black. A lot of people seeing this thing. It's always it's something I always think about, like when we talk about trees and plant life and stuff. But I don't think it's the plant, it's the water inside that you're having that effect on. Like in magic, there's moon water and sun water and stuff where you put them out and they absorb the sun of the moon, hence the fucking name. So there's an absorption thing there. When I get in the shower, I just got out of the shower. I got in the shower and I got all this shit on my mind, all this, as always. And I get in there and I just start singing. I'm always singing in there. And this kind of thing happens to you when you're in the shower. And, or at least with me it does. And I'm like, the water is alive. This water is a sentient thing. And it's interacting with me. The water that's in me. I'm just working this stuff out in real time right now, so I'm yeah. It's just one of those things where I'm like, well, I gotta put this down or else I'm gonna forget about this as the day goes out. Well, I don't think I will. This is a weird one. This one, it just struck me. It just struck me. And I thought it would just be something that might be interesting to someone. I think it's the water that's alive. I should have probably thought more about this before I hit record, but yeah. Because every time, you've always heard of singing in the shower thing. Depicted in life, depicted in a little thing I like to call life. I was going to say TV show. It's more than that. It's just singing in the shower is the thing. But it just changes your whole kind of thing. And I notice sometimes once I get out of it and I start to dry up, that sort of feeling goes away. Dude, the water's alive. There's something in the water. I gotta start thinking of this now. That in Jesus as a mystic. I'm working on that stuff too. Because he was. I went on that last night. I was kind of freaking out about that. I was led down this path. It wasn't something... Some of the conclusions I came to on my own, all these things, but not the whole thing. All these things I talk about, these concepts I talk about, and have for the past couple of years in this channel, are usually something I'll put together myself, but other people have already done some of usually the heavy work, the smart work. I just kind of show up and say, well, this goes over here, and that goes over here, and I'm good with that stuff. And the Bible as a book of magic, Jesus as a mystic, what you are is magic. And that the word magic brings up all kinds of connotations, and I know that certain magic circles, like the Crowley set uses the K, but it's not just Crowley's. A lot of people use the K. It can get convoluted because sometimes I'll be talking about one thing and I'll mean something else. Jesus has nothing to do with black magic. Black magic's a whole different thing. Black magic and witchcraft, that's the stuff that our politicians do. All of these people you see that are world leaders, they're all black magic users. All of them. and they're casting spells. All the people that are in, not just in politics, but in prominent positions, cannibals, Satanists. It's a fucked up world. I mean, the more you learn coming into this, like if I hadn't gotten in touch with God, and He took all my fear away of all this stuff, it just went right out the window. I go out looking for demons now. You know, there would have been a time when I would. I mean, if you told me I was going to interact with a demon, I wouldn't be able to sleep. You know, I'd probably fucking crack up or something. But yeah, He took the fear away, and I'm not trying to flex by saying I'm not afraid of anything, but I don't even know when the last time I got afraid of anything. He took it away. He took that away. I believe to some people, when He decides what you're going to be, how you're going to be of service to Him, or whatever He thinks you're going to do, He helps you out in the position. Just like when if you're arguing, I did a whole thing was about how people that are trying to lie or deceive usually get caught up in their own words. You know, if someone's angry and they're in an argument and they start yelling or ad hominem attacks or something, it's always like they're exasperated, like they can't think of words, like you fucking... But if you're coming from a place of goodness and truth, you actually become more eloquent and you become more articulate. It's like God's helping you out. God helps you out when you're in service to Him. And in that way, you know, some of us have been feeling like we have a specific thing. I don't know what it is, what my specific thing is. I might have already done it. I don't know why I'm driven to do the things I do for God. It's just I know I'm serving God, and I'm letting Him put me sort of on the path, you know, of where I'm supposed to be. And every day is like you learn something new. You know, every day is a new experience. But yeah, the more I learn about this world, yeah, it's fucked. Like we're surrounded by people that are inhabited with demons, cannibals, Satanists, weirdos, witches, fucking black magic users. Yeah, like I talk a lot about magic stuff and magic practices, and I've been a studier of it, a follower of it. I'm not really a practitioner. I don't follow any certain kind of school. It's just something that I like to gain knowledge about, to read about. But black magic, any kind of harmful stuff, or anything where you're evoking demons or calling upon demons, I'd never be involved in any of that shit. You know, fuck that. I mean, why? I don't understand people that do get into it. Like, how do you think this is going to end? You know, I've talked before about how you demon summon, and a lot of times when you're trying to call upon their power, half of the rituals or the preparation is all about protecting yourself, because like the example I used was like you want to have a house demolished, so you bring the Tasmanian devil there, and he comes in a cage, and you tie a string to the cage, and you open it up from a distance. You hope he takes the house down and then doesn't notice you're there. I don't get why people even go in that direction. Unless the people that are doing this stuff are like, oh, well, like, you know, demons infested people are going to do demon shit and call up more of their friends. I can't see like a normal person. I don't know. I'm sure there are. I just can't think about it. So yeah, I'd never do anything like that. That's no interest of me. But I like to know what the opposing team is up to. You know, so it's not something you should be totally ignorant about. Learn about the basics of it, how they do it, why they do it, you know, what they get out of it, because that shit runs the world. You know, there's a lot of Christians that are like, oh, I don't want to know anything about that. Or, well, you probably should, or else it's going to get used on you and you won't know it. Just something to think about. That in that water is alive. I don't know why I felt that was important to get down, but I don't even know. I said that to myself. Like, this shit's a lot. This is a thing. This is sentient. Could be wrong. You know, it happens sometimes. Not a lot, but you know, it does happen. Don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.